Insider presents Geek Speak with Matthew Harris and Meredith Loughran. We cover entertainment, news, and tech with special guest appearances. So sit back and enjoy as we geek out together right now.
Good evening, everybody. This is Meredith Loughran, and this is Geek Speak. I've got with me a room full of people. I'm going to drop the card down here so you guys can see. And we're just going to kind of go around the room and let everybody introduce themselves. We'll get you up on the big screen here. Are you guys hearing any feedback, or is that me?
I feel
good. All right, awesome. Michael, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Michael Dolce, creator of the SIRE. I'm a writer, artist, and podcaster. Also host of the Rogue Wave podcast for Rogue Matter. And I got a Kickstarter going on for the SIRE Volume 3. It's about a superhero forced by his own costume to fight evil. It's kind of like having a spider sense, but instead of warning of danger, actually puts him in danger. Volume 3 follows the third chapter, or not really third chapter. It's really like the 11th chapter, but the third volume finds our hero back on Earth with new powers, new costume, and what is it? Mo powers, more problems.
All right. Samjay, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Samjay, creator of the AUTOMARTYR series. I work on the concept and story with my partner, Juliana, aka JK, and I'm also the lead in art.
And we're going to pop up. Speak.
Hi, I'm Juliana, co-creator of AUTOMARTYR series, and I work with Samjay.
Anna?
Hello.
Hi.
Uh-oh. I think, Juliana, you're the star of the show.
Or... Oh,
I think I just did the intro. I can do it again.
Hello, I'm Mog, like here, Mog Park. I'm a freelance artist, so I work for comic covers, book illustrations, game art, game design, commercial art, film industry. Yes, thank you.
Short and sweet. Okay, let me get Juliana back on here. Did we miss your intro?
I thought I did it, but I think it might have gone wrong technically. But let me do it again. So hello, I'm Juliana. I'm a writer and I work on the AUTOMARTYR series together with Samjay. And our comic, issue 1 of AUTOMARTYR is out on Indiegogo.
Okay. So welcome, you guys. I am expecting Luke Stone. He will be in shortly. Let me just send him the link once again. And, the one thing that I would say is we do have some questions and things like that. And we're going to have some interaction from the audience because we're live streaming right now. But if you could put your mics on mute. And if there's something that you want to say, make sure that you raise your hand or wave something and then unmute and get it. Because the problem is with StreamYard, unfortunately, is that if we have the feedback and stuff, it cancels it out and then nobody hears. And we want to hear what you guys have to say. So, what I'm going to do is we had a couple of questions that came in, and I want to pop this up here real quick because this isn't the first campaign for you guys, I'm pretty sure, as far as crowdfunding goes. And I'd like to know, or the audience would like to know, what is the biggest difference between a Kickstarter and Indiegogo, and why did you choose one over the other? And let me know. Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
I was going to say, to be honest with you, there's not a ton of difference in terms of platform. There's a couple of small things that are kind of different. Like Indiegogo has a much different pre-launch page where they're actually collecting email addresses, which is interesting, right? Like, so Kickstarter you follow. Indiegogo you actually, when people sign up to follow your page, they give you their email address. So there's advantages and disadvantages to that. Kickstarter feels like more of a community. Indiegogo feels more like a platform. But there's no, it's apples and apples. It's really, it's very, very similar. Oh, you're on mute now, Meredith.
My good, I saw something about that. Like, there's going to be like a T-shirt that goes around that says you're on mute.
Oh, that's
right.
Let's do it right now.
Let's
we all
do
need to
it.
make that right now. That's it. Trademark the 5 of us.
Sanjay, how about you? What made you choose Indiegogo as opposed to Kickstarter?
It's well, both platforms they have their own advantages, but we thought we'd give Indiegogo a go first, because of the flexible funding feature. We thought that's pretty neat for people like us who's doing it the first time. So we thought we'll do that first and maybe try Kickstarter another time.
Now, Mog or Juliana, have you ever done a Kickstarter campaign or an Indiegogo?
No.
Mog's been a part of many Kickstarters. Her art has been a part of many, including my background right here, which is her variant cover. So, what is it that you've by osmosis you've done Kickstarters by osmosis? You've absorbed many other Kickstarters as you go along.
Thank you, Michael. You're so awesome.
No. What are you talking about? You're the one that drew the nice pictures. I mean,
yes, that reminds me. I am on 3 Kickstarters right now.
See, there you go.
That's pretty crazy. Hey, Juliana, how about you? Have you ever done a Kickstarter on your own, or?
No, actually, this is our first ever crowdfunding campaign. So we're virgins like that. So Samjai and I came from an advertising background. So it's like, I think collectively more than 2 decades. So we're very used to being out in the commercial world. So this is actually very, very new and very different for us. But it's very exciting because so far the response and feedback from at least where we are from is pretty good. So we're well pleased for that. I think maybe it's the first timer's luck, I suppose.
How much longer do you guys have on your Kickstarter? On your Indiegogo?
29 days, I think. But we are about 75%. So
that's great.
Yeah, we're really happy about that one.
I'm curious. Yeah, I want to know. See, free form conversation. How long did you set it for?
We because we're at land trained, so we used to work in like MNCs, and so we do it we're very disciplined in that way. So it's actually very strategic the way we did our things, right? Mm-hmm. So we actually set was it a 6-week campaign, Samjai?
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, it was 6 weeks.
That's great.
But we broke it down because we actually have like bursts in terms of campaigning. So what we're going to do for week 1, week 2, week 3, and then there's a mark, and then we have like a backup in case. Can I say shit here? Shit hits the fan. Right? Okay. Sorry, I'm from Singapore, so everything gets bleeped out in Singapore. It's very, very strict in Singapore.
Wow. Okay, cool.
So we have to ask first, can I say this? Oh, sorry.
Oh, yes, you can absolutely say that. And we don't really have restrictions on language unless it's illegal. So you're good.
Yeah.
And welcome, Luke Stone. I'm going to put you up on the big screen here and let you introduce yourself.
Hello. Thanks, Meredith, for having me tonight. My name is Luke Stone. I'm the writer and artist behind a book called Hybrids, the Sons of Gods, and it is in its 6th issue. And we are starting, today has launched the part 1 of The Killing Field that is currently on Indiegogo. And so I look forward to being able to talk with everyone about that tonight.
All right. And we are definitely going to put up the campaigns because I've got those on tabs and things. But Luke, the first question that was asked was, what is the biggest difference between Kickstarter and Indiegogo? And why did you choose Indiegogo over the other?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think the biggest difference, and up to this point, of course, Kickstarter's kind of changing those things, has been the add-on perks. I like the ability to be able to do add-ons with those. I also like the secret perks. I usually do a retailer package, and unfortunately, I've had people that don't own a retail store buy a bulk amount of books at a retail cost. And I don't like that because that's not really what that's intended for. It's for the, it's intended for to help the brick and mortars out. And so I like that I can do secret perks with Indiegogo. And I also love the in-demand feature. So being able to keep that, those books in demand for as long as possible really helps out. And so that's why I choose Indiegogo. Sometimes I would run both campaigns, an Indiegogo and a Kickstarter. But just because of all the other titles that I have coming out right now, we've got stuff with Terraform Comics that's going to be coming out, and that's going to go on Kickstarter. I've got stuff with Orange Cone, another issue of Voodoo Nations coming out, and so that's going to be on Kickstarter, and it launches right after. I didn't want to either try to run two campaigns simultaneously or even congruently with each other. So 28 days only, Indiegogo all the way. It'll hopefully go to in demand, and we'll be done with that, so I can get books out to people as fast as possible.
Awesome. And I'm going to put Piper here up on the big screen. Piper, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Piper. I do a lot of comic stuff actually, but I'm editor for Luke.
All right. And it's kind of funny because the artists and the writers normally get on camera, but the editors, for some reason, a lot of times they're like, nope.
I'm sorry. I'm getting over a cold, so I look crummy. So I didn't turn mine on.
So, what I wanted to do was actually, I am going to bring up one of the crowdfunds, and we'll do it one at a time, and then we'll take a quick break. And let me just see which one here. Let's bring up Michael Dolce's campaign here. Nope, we want to close that. And okay, so this is great. I mean, you've got 9 days to go. Your pledge, the pledge goal is 1,500. You are almost there. 37 backers, and this is the SIRE Volume 3 Rebirth. Can you tell us a little bit about the story? Like, what was the genesis of the SIRE? I mean, obviously you're on 3 now, so
So it's funny actually. The SIRE dates back originally to like 6th grade, so I won't tell you how many years ago that was, but it was my first official foray into comics back in 2006. So in 2001 I graduated college and I put out a book called Crossfire, which was essentially the SIRE. I wrote it, I drew it, did everything. It was like almost my college thesis, if you could call it that, and submitted to publishers, submitted to Diamond, and everyone said nope, not going to do it. And I said, uh-oh. And back then, there was no Kickstarter. There was no do-it-yourself. There was schlep around to conventions, and peddle it yourself if you can't get distribution. So that lasted about 2 issues. It was a valuable experience. I learned a lot of stuff of what not to do, and what I was really trying to do with the story. And in 2006, I brought it back, renamed it the SIRE. Picked up some awesome cover artists, picked up an artist by the name of Dan Leister, who's done a lot of stuff with Zenescope and Image since working on the SIRE. And we submitted to Diamond and got in. And we did 6 issues in a trade back from 2006 to 2008. We sold actually really well. Our very first issue sold about 2,000 copies, which for an indie book way back in the day, that was pretty good. And so we're really proud of it. And I kind of ended it on a note of I could do more if I want to do more, but this tells a beginning, middle, and end. And then through the 2010s, people kept kind of bugging me like, well, when's the next issue coming? When's the next issue coming? And so I would kind of complete an issue here and there, and I would test the Kickstarter orders out with issue 9. I kickstarted issue 10, and then I kickstarted the Volume 2 trade in 2018. And since then, I've been working on a whole bunch of stuff. I got some projects coming out. I had a project through Zenescope. I've done some stuff through Image. But I always end up circling back to this character. And this is the first time since that original Crossfire Inception where I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna dive back into the artboard. And I feel like my art has progressed to a point. If you scroll up to the first image underneath the first quote, that is a sample of my art. I'm doing the writing, the drawing, the coloring, the lettering. So I'm going to do everything on this Kickstarter. So keep going you can go all the way up, and then I'll show you exactly which one I'm talking about. And then I want to give a quick right there. So that's my art. I feel like it's gotten to a point where I'm pretty happy with it. It looks professional. If you do the glance test, you scroll really fast. You go, oh, that looks pretty good. That's all you need to. That's how you test out what's good and what's not. Scroll down to the second cover if you can from there, and I want to give a shout out to Mog Park, who's on this. Yep, keep going one more time. Right there, she did the Ladies Who Lunch cover, is what I like to call it. Those are two of the key components of the story, and they are. And she did an amazing mashup cover. Cool Victorian era kind of costumes. Just just really fun. I love working with artists. I don't ever really like to hamper them with any kind of details. I like to just let them run free, and Mog knocked that out of the park. She did a beautiful cover, and that is one of the variants you can get with the book.
All right, that's awesome. And for anybody who's tuning in here, we've got 9 days to go. We're at
73% funded.
73% funded, 9 days to go. I know that you're going to make it, and hopefully get to some stretch goals and things like that.
Yeah.
So let me see here. We've got a couple of questions from people who are tuning in. Creating Chaos says, I love Mog. Woohoo! AUTOMARTYR rocks. Russell Allen says, hey guys. John Smith, Pulpstar Comic, awesome. I never know how to say this name. So do you guys make it a point to offer anything like an intro package deal on your campaign page? I think that's a great question to ask everybody who's here. What do you guys think?
We do actually. We have a digital package for $20 that you can get Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3 for just $20. And it's great because it really, again. And I'm interested to hear what Luke has to say, having, kickstarting like an issue 6. Like I always found that was a pain in the butt to do individual issues, not necessarily because I don't like doing individual issues, but how do you rope someone in who hasn't been following? I feel like it's almost a tough one. So we've been doing, instead of single issues, we do, my plan is to do trades, and it's really is issues 11, 12, and 13. But it's done in all-in-one 72-page package, so that it's not as daunting, I feel like, and especially if we can offer the other 2 trades, I feel like it's an easier buy-in for new people. But Luke, I'd love to hear what you have to say about that.
Sure. There's really kind of 2 audiences out there. There's people that want more content. They want content in smaller bites, the kind of bite-sized stuff more frequently, and then there's people that want their content as like a trade. And so I find it's best to, like, how I do it is I put out each individual issue or what I call episodes of a trade. So the first one was 5 issues, and that was Volume 1 called Trash Day for this arc, right? Mm-hmm. And so then we put out a trade paperback. So shortly after the last part of that arc releases on floppy, I then put it into a trade paperback, and then we add a bunch of extra stuff. So like from day one, I'm looking at taking down notes and getting different pictures and concept art and different things to be able to add into that and make it really cool, like extra backup stories and stuff. And so then we released a trade paperback that has all of that extra content in it. So we went from 5 issues and did a 140-page trade paperback. And so that trade paperback now is available as a catch-up pack during this issue, part 1 of the Killing Field. So you can get that issue and the trade paperback to get up to speed with things.
Well,
so that's how I do it.
And I want to ask Sanjay and Juliana, because this is your first campaign, and in the promo it says 1 of 6. So this is something that you're going to be looking at. How are you approaching that as far as building your campaigns? What happens on book 2?
Okay, so our strategy is similar to that of Luke's. So we plan on coming up with the single shots. So all 6 single issues, and then perhaps at the end of it, all right, we might compile it into 1. So that's quite similar to Luke's. But what we've done in terms of content is to actually package each individual story. So even if you jump in on 3 or you jump in on 5, right, you won't be lost in that manner. So we're very careful in terms of organizing the actual series. So the campaign is secondary to the series. So no matter where you jump in on, as long as there's interest and you jump in on it, right, you won't be lost, and there will be a point for you to come in. And in terms of pricing as well, although we did it as AUTOMARTYR 1, we've actually factored in the entire series in mind. So we're not going to be jammed up after 1 or 2 or 3.
Mhm.
So basically, it's a very long-term plan we took, even though it's an Indiegogo campaign.
Sanjay, anything to add to that? She got it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We're going to be right back, and we're going to take a look at your campaign, AUTOMARTYR, right after we take this break. So it'll be about 30 seconds if you guys need to take a drink or something like that. And here we go.
We'll be back right after this.
Check it out. MobileEdge.com has award-winning products with innovative features and contemporary, edgy designs that empower you to look sharp and travel smart with your mobile tech. Your beloved, not to mention expensive gaming gear and mobile tech devices are an extension of you, so give them the protection and style they deserve wherever you go. Find them at MobileEdge.com and protect your tech with Mobile Edge. Bring it on. Hey Geek Insiders, Mobile Edge has a special coupon code for our dedicated listeners. Get 25% off your Mobile Edge gear using coupon code GEEK25. That's GEEK25. Geek out.
And we're back. Welcome to Geek Speak, everybody. We've got a lot of people in the room for various campaigns here. We're highlighting them all. Make sure that you tune into the Geek Insider YouTube channel as well as the Facebook channel. And we are going to be sharing this to our podcast. So your favorite podcast, whether it's iHeart, Pandora, Amazon, wherever it is that you want to listen, we will be there. Let's see. I wanted to go through a couple more questions here from the sidebar. Let's see. Everybody's saying hello, hello, hello. Oh my goodness. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate every single one of you. Okay, next question I have up here. How important is merch? How important is merchandise, you guys, for your campaigns? Don't jump in here all at once.
I'll go ahead and start that one. Meredith knows I love merch. Merch is one of my favorite things, but they don't get backed a lot. Really what gets backed a lot is prints, trading cards, stickers. People love stickers. Patches gets backed. People get excited about those things. For every trading card pack that I have somebody buy, or for every one shirt that someone buys, I have 20 trading card packs that sell. So relatively the same, the same cost to the consumer, but it's definitely more profit to me. And apparently they like that stuff better. But having said that, I've got the swag pack available in my campaign where you can get a backpack, a mug, a hat, and a blanket. So all kinds of cool stuff.
Okay, well, from Pulpstar Comics, you said that you started with marketing, but a lot of times this merchandise, there isn't a lot of profit there.
No, we didn't start with marketing. We started with content first.
Oh,
the creative
okay.
work is key. Everything is secondary. So we're very focused on the actual art and the writing and the series itself. So you can see from our campaign, we have literally no merch. We have like a poster that you can buy, full stop.
Full sizes.
Yeah, because but so far I think the feedback we've got from just that singular poster is pretty awesome. So I think we'll start there first, and perhaps in future we might add on as we go along.
Okay, and I know with Indiegogo there are ways to add on after your campaign has started. So I mean, if you get feedback and stuff like that, might that be something that you add on later?
Yes, definitely, because I think production requires minimum quantities. So it's very pointless for us to put it out there, and if it fails, it's you just end up with like a box full of a warehouse full of stuff. So I think with Indiegogo campaign, because we're taking such a long-term goal when it comes to this, right? We can actually learn along the way and see what people actually want and gather feedback as we move through the series. So I think that's a smart thing to do.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to toss this over to Mog, because I know as an artist, maybe you're tapped to do things like maybe the T-shirt or variant covers and things like that. I mean, are variant covers, would that be considered merch? You know, because it's something different. So I mean, like you're doing art and stuff like that. I know that you've done cards. I know that you've done pinups and things like that. How does that being on as many campaigns as you are right now? Do you ever get the sense that it might be oversaturated a little bit, or do you feel overwhelmed? I mean, what is that like to be just like, hey, let's ask Mog to do this, or is it commission based? I mean, how is it that people approach you to get your art on their stuff? I guess was the long way of asking that.
How they just ask. It's nothing that I standardize or anything. And for me, when I start working with you, together as a campaign, like together in a Kickstarter or Indiegogo, I'm not the type where I want to just like, here's my art, okay, bye. I want to at least promote, like, just like this, what we're doing. Or sometimes like what I do is sketch cards also, like, like people would make sketch cards, and now what I'm doing is what I noticed what some of the creators are doing is with the art that I do for the sketch cards, they would make like tarot cards or something so they can create more merchandise out of it. So why not? I don't care. Like, as long as you guys succeed, I'm so happy. So I don't feel any overwhelm. In fact, I'm very humble and very like appreciative that they would want more work from me to put it on, and create more merchandise. So yeah.
Well, and I'll jump in. Actually, that's something that's you don't actually find that with a lot of the artists. A lot of times, they're happy to do the work, but that's kind of where their participation kind of ends. And I've been just pleasantly surprised with how much Mog promotes on social media the projects that I've been a part of with her right now. And this is the second one I've worked with her on. It was another one called Plan 59 where she did a variant cover, and she's like, hey, you should get on this, and you should get on this, and hey, I'm tagging you in this. And I'm like, wow, all right, well, this doesn't feel as overwhelming, a prospect to have that. So it's great. And that you don't find that.
Yeah, it's I've noticed too with my book. So I just recently finished a Kickstarter for a book of prose. It was an anthology of dark fiction. So not really comic books, but the comic book tie-in is that I'm taking some of those short stories and scripting them out. And I've actually invested in art. And my artist worked super fast and he was done, boom. But when it comes to marketing any of it, it's like, nah, I got paid, and that is not a slight against him at all. It was just like,
no,
that,
exactly.
I guess that's what it is. So it depends, I guess, on the relationship that you're building with
right.
With your creative team and stuff. So let me kind of go around the room here, because Piper, you're kind of not an artist, and I don't know if you write, but what is it like to find a team? And when you do you want to kind of stick with them from project to project, or do you kind of get a different flavor for different people depending on what that project is?
You asking me?
I'm asking everybody.
Oh. Well, I can say that I love sticking with any team I'm on as long as they'll have me, because I love watching, I like watching everything evolve. I like watching success happen, whether or not I had a direct hand in it or just played a small part in helping. It's really awesome experience no matter what part you play. I think it's still kind of a tiny bit your success in a way, and you get used to the people, and working with the same people, you feel you get to know each other well enough that it becomes easier and easier to bounce ideas, or I know what you need kind of thing all around. And it'll show in the finished products over time. You'll see that, this team's got it. The But I do write and do art too.
Okay, very good. Do you find that, and this is for everybody, do you find that you migrate towards the same people when you've got an idea for the next project?
I tend to migrate towards certain people for the projects. I work with a number of different people, and it's usually based on kind of their skill sets for the kind of work that I'm doing at the time. So I'll have one colorist for this kind of work and another colorist for that. More, and I hate to use the word intimate, but it's what it is. It's not, intimate roles like artists and writers. There's certain writers I like to work with, certain artists that I like to work with, especially if I'm hiring someone for layouts. And especially with an editor, once I find an editor I like, I just kind of want to have them edit all my stuff because they get my style. They get what I'm going after, and so it's easier just to stick with a team that has proven themselves. So
Yeah, I'm a guy like the what is it, like those directors who always have the same actors in their movies, like the Tarantinos and stuff like that. Yeah, like once like I work with you and I have a really good experience with you, like I bring you back all the time. It's like you do good work. You keep the brand consistent when you do that too. Talon Caldwell's a good friend of mine, and he's done so many of my covers. Jim Calafiore has done all the covers for the trades up till now, and like I'll just keep bringing you back. You can be my Samuel L. Jackson. Keep coming back.
Now, I saw Juliana shaking her head, nodding with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I were actually really fond of the model that Bill Bernbach created years ago, which is the writer and artist or writer art director model. So I think it's really, really hard to find, because they need to go hand in hand. So it's really hard to find the right person. And once you get one and then it works, right? We have a preference to stick to the same team. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now we're taking a look at your campaign right now. So this is one of 6 and coming soon. And the artwork is just simply amazing. We're going to scroll through while we talk. But go ahead with your thought and then maybe talk us through your campaign.
Okay, so basically AUTOMARTYR is a 6-book series. And it follows the character Black Soul. And he's in a nutshell, he's a tormented soldier, right, created for a purpose that no longer exists in the world he's currently stuck in. So his main goal is to escape this mental and emotional prison and hell that he's kind of created or had a part of creating. And that's where the story goes. For this particular issue, check out the art. So Samjai is the art. He basically drew all of this. And I don't know, I'm blown, as a writer, I'm blown away by the art. So, and I think I won't do it justice if I talk about the art. I'll let Samjai do that.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty fond of details, so it's also a reason why we opted to do it in black and white. We can actually add more details without it feeling cluttered. So we could play with shadows and highlights to create dramatic effects. So we wanted colors initially, but we decided on this art direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is really stunning. And so what I know when I put together my very first campaign, I was very nervous about how to set the goals and things like that. And I kind of want to go around the room. What was it? What was the factor in setting your backer goals, whether it was flexible and things? And it kind of ties into why you might have picked Indiegogo, because I know that Indiegogo has the flexible goals. How did you determine what that goal was going to be?
So for us, go
ahead, Juliana.
So for us, what we set on, right, was first things first, how much do we need to, actually get in order to produce the book. And the next thing that we considered is how much will people be willing, to take a chance on something that they know nothing of, given that this is our first foray into this. So we actually weighed the two and decided that this would be a good way to go. We don't want to set the goal too low. It's in USD on your screen, so it's a bit in Singapore, our exchange rates were definitely a weaker currency. So therefore, it costs a lot more, compared to what we're seeing in USD. So we actually set it according to what we believe people would take a chance on and give a shot.
Mm-hmm. Now, how does that affect, being that you are from Singapore? How is it? Is it very expensive as far as possibly shipping out international?
Yes. Basically, Singapore, everything is expensive in Singapore. It's a very, very expensive city to live in. Yeah, so costs are high here. So when we did the pricing, we factored that in as well in terms of shipping and everything. Because clearly we are a small nation, and we're not while we're based here, we're not targeting the folks here. We actually want a more worldwide audience, and clearly we think of Europe and US as as the biggest markets outside of Japan in Asia. So yeah, all our costs actually entail all of this shipping and things like that.
Mm-hmm. And Luke, how about you? What made you determine what the goal was going to be for your campaign?
I normally set my goal based on how much production has cost me so far and what I need to recover from that, or what I plan on doing post-production and printing and all of those kind of things. So that's really where I formulate my goal, is how can I sustainably keep this a business, and get it into the hands of readers worldwide, if at all possible, and still be able to, make a little bit of ends meet as
Michael, how about you? What was the determining factor?
Yeah, so I've done a few Kickstarters. I've done one that was like 2,500, and then last year I did one that was like 2,000. And the Plan 59 one was like 3,000 or 4,000. For this book, especially because, again, for me, the character has been out there before, which is great. But it's also, there's such a gap between when it was really widely circulated. So I said, you know what, with this particular book, I'm trying to go long term. So each campaign is going to actually, the idea is to do two trades every year, one trade in January, one trade in June, and to keep growing the newsletter list and keep growing the fandom behind this particular character, so that probably by the next time around, depending on how we do here, it looks like we'll probably get our 1,500 no problem, maybe a 2,000, maybe set that bar a little higher the next time and the next time and the next time.
Mm-hmm. I have to say, when I put together my campaign, basically because it was prose, the work was already done. I didn't have to worry about paying an artist and things like that. So my overhead, as far as that's concerned, was more about shipping and making sure that I get the supplies, making sure that I got my stickers and whatever merch I wanted to include. But at the same time, with the comic book tie-in, because I've already invested in 8 pages of art, I didn't really make that money back. And so there's a part of me that's going, I'm not going to make that back until I can get my butt to a con and maybe start selling books or looking for like an online alternative. And that takes traffic getting over to the sites and stuff like that. How are you guys doing as far as pivoting, because we don't have cons quite yet? And I don't know how the pandemic has been affecting Singapore. So I'm really interested in knowing what your answer is. But what are we doing as far as pivoting, because cons aren't quite open yet?
That's why I'm on the show. This is all new. I mean, it's funny. I do a live stream podcast every week, but we do it more. We talk more about pop culture than we do comics, but then we slip in our comics and things like that as well, and kind of slip in our work that we do. But that, that has now become the forefront. Like things like this. I just got introduced to Clubhouse too. I guess Clubhouse is another app that's a big connecting. Yeah. See, I just found out about it yesterday. And it's
What
an
is
audio.
this Clubhouse thing?
It's an audio app, and there's just rooms full of people talking about different things, and that's it. And it's weird, but it's a good social networking app, apparently. And it's got, I guess, some higher profile folks using it right now. But again, it's discovering new apps. It's, embracing live streaming. It's funny because we would live stream our podcast we've been doing this for about 5 years now, and now all of a sudden I see everyone's on StreamYard and everyone's using this and that, and it's like you tend to see what people are doing, the home shopping, Facebook, lives and stuff like that. I mean, everyone's in front of a camera right now, and it's all you can do, right?
Mm-hmm. Sanjay, Juliana, how does that work? Oh, Mog, I'll get right to you. I did see you. How are you guys pivoting in Singapore?
Well, seeing as we are already on the other side of the Pacific, facing a population of 5 million, we always knew the challenges were whoo. So we already came into this with, we've already mapped out all sorts of challenges. We need to get to America, we need to get to Europe, we need to get to this. Oh no, how are we going to do that? So basically we have a framework. Clearly the pandemic has kind of put a curb to that because we can't really travel. And so right now we're just, I guess, things will go back to normal. So we just have to wait it out for, I guess, a year or two. Yeah. And hopefully our series will be ready in time when things go back to normal, and then we'll join the American shows for sure. Yeah. And physically be in America to promote the book.
Mm-hmm. Mog, go ahead.
Yeah, I think just like what Michael is said, like to survive this pandemic without going to conventions, we're gearing more towards just internet marketing and all of that, like StreamYard, live streaming, all of that. And what's also interesting that I figured out was some of the stuff that would sell on a convention, like hotcakes, will not sell online, which is so weird. And some of the things that you will never get to sell, like hardly on con, is like the highest thing. And I just stumbled into that like 3 weeks ago, and I'm thinking, what the heck's going on? And it's just really, really bizarre. But definitely what always helps, no matter what, whether it's a con or it's the internet live streaming or whatever, despite the pandemic, is you just gotta be a good guy. You gotta just tell people that it's about you. Like, it's just weird. It's not really sometimes about the art. It's really about your persona, how you interact with people. That's what it comes down to. And also that's interesting. I found that also very interesting. So.
Mm-hmm. I saw Luke have a reaction there. What was that about?
She's absolutely right. There are things that people are interested in on a campaign that if it's sitting on my con table, I can't move it. But then there's stuff that is, if I've got it at a convention, people just eat it up. It's just understanding your audience and trying to mold your business model to fit, who it is that you're reaching, and understanding that crowdfunding is going to be different than in-person shows. And both of those are completely different than store signings, which we've been doing a lot of smaller scale, like in the store signings and selling, because we don't have the convention. So we'll go set up on a Wednesday or Saturday in a local shop somewhere. And those are completely different as well. And so it's just, you've got to, I think in the local shop, I do more sketch covers than I ever do in my life. I can't do a single sketch cover at a con. But they want prints of all kinds of stuff. They just go nuts over prints. But people don't care about prints. They want stickers and patches. But I can't sell stickers and patches at cons. But I don't know, Indiegogo, it's like stickers and patches are king. Like that's like currency there.
And what does that look like in Singapore? I mean, do you have comic conventions and things like that, or do you have to travel?
We have to travel. The ones that happen here are of a different scale, a smaller scale.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually a bit more about toys and anime. Not so much. Not fully on comics. So it's different from the one I was at San Diego. 2017, I think. I mean that was an eye opener for me compared to the ones in Malaysia or Singapore, which is smaller, a lot smaller.
Yeah, I was going to say that's got to feel overwhelming, and you probably slept a couple days when you were done.
It was really awesome.
I miss
Really.
San Diego Comic-Con so badly. That is like my one, like I don't sit behind the table. I just network at San Diego, so it's like a vacation. Just a vacation.
Yeah.
Have you guys done, Luke, have you done San Diego? Are you as an artist, as a publisher? Like and what have your returns been? Because I can tell you mine were never good compared to like other shows.
Well, I've never been to San Diego because I'm on the East Coast.
Okay.
So I've never tried to venture out that far. As a publisher, the bigger shows are not profitable at all. I prefer the single day, like mostly toys and stuff. I like being the only indie comics guy or one of 3 indie comics guys there, because I can sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman wearing white gloves, I swear. And so if I can sell that, you let me pitch one of the books that's on my label to a customer, where there are no other books. Like, you know, I don't have to worry about them saving that $50 to get the voice actor for such and such to give them an autograph. Man, I'm killing it. You know, I'm killing it.
What's just funny is San Diego is the only show though where although I heard it got better 2017 and 2018 in terms of the small publishers. It doesn't cost a lot to actually get a table there, which is bizarre. It's actually the least amount of money to get a table, but the most money to travel and stay at. Like all the hotels are expensive and all the flights are expensive. Like it's crazy. And I've done it twice now where I've actually been behind the table, or there's one year I was with Zenescope, so I didn't actually have to get a booth, which was nice. But like, yeah, there was San Diego is like the heart. It's like a lot of browsers, a lot of people just browsing because it's so big. And whereas as what like Luke was saying, like I mean, even like the old Wizard World shows I used to do great at, but C2E2 I kill at that. New York Comic Con, a big show. That's my best show every year though. Like they come to buy.
Oh yeah.
And Mel says, I agree. Mog and I do better when we're closer to being the star of the show. And Matt Campbell says, pitching a comic to attendees at a big show is like selling lemonade on the freeway. Yeah, it's really hard because most people are on their way to see somebody else. They might want to see the folks from Star Trek or Star Wars or whatever. Let's see here. I saw a question here from Pops, and we'll take this question before we take another quick bump. How are you guys doing on time? Are we okay?
Yeah, rocking.
Anybody need to get going? All right, cool. So Pop says, what do you think promoting crowdfunding campaigns will be like when you are back at conventions? Do you think that crowdfunding will suffer? Do you think it'll remain the same? Will it grow? What do you think?
I think it's 2 different audiences, right?
Yeah. I think you've got to use them both. I think there's a place for both of them. My hope is that eventually the crowdfunding will be able to help sustain the trade shows that we go to. And I don't want to just say Comic Cons because they're trade shows that I like to go to. Mm-hmm. So I think working both of them together, and especially with like a team of like what we've got with Terraform Comics and stuff, where one person's focus is trade shows, one person's focus is really trying to make just these different elements. I think finding those people you can work with is going to be vital. But I don't think one will surpass the other. I think they'll still work hand in hand.
I think when it's safe to go outside again, people are going to be, and they've got all this money saved up from being at home and not spending anything. True. They are going to just go nuts. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Mm-hmm. And we have here, Trish Bankston says, nope, leave Mike in his wheelchair and always know I can find him in Artist Alley. He's not going anywhere else. So, but okay. So, question out to Trish and Mike, if you're tuning in, because they are fans. They've been really this past year paying attention to the indie comics and the creators and stuff. When cons come back, is that where your money is going to go? And with that, we'll wait until she gets a response. But I am going to throw in another little bump here, so we can give a little bit of love to the traveling TARDIS.
This is the legend of the traveling TARDIS. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Also catch us on the HWWS Web TV YouTube channel. Subscribe today and become part of the legend.
Oh, and sending out love to Christian Basil with the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS radio show. And just in case you didn't know, if you're tuning in, head over to the YouTube channel and look him up. He's got a brand new YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Let's see here. Nash says, will promoting the comics work with a live performance on the side?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I'm trying to disseminate that myself.
I would like to pretend that I know what that means, but I have no clue.
Will promoting the comics
I mean, I'll
work?
do a jig and a dance, but like, I don't think that's gonna sell nothing.
I had something actually about crowdfunding comics versus the conventions opening back up. I think a lot of the indies being in front of people's faces with their campaigns, but also being on streams like this, or just having a YouTube channel just to get their face in front of people. I think a lot of these conventions are going to see a big boom in people going there specifically to meet people like y'all. You're getting your own audience online in the meantime, where nobody else has anything, to do but interact with you online. And then you say, hey, you've built this following, you've built a fan base already. And then you say, I'm going to go be at this convention. And I really think we're going to see, people actually lining up at tables that otherwise they would, if that's your first place to market your comic, they're not going to know who you are. They're going to, go look for somebody they recognize. Well, now you are going to be people that people recognize right off the bat. Yeah. So I think it's just going to help. I think keep doing both. Get your audience online and then tell them where to go find you at a convention.
I have to say, I was recently at the D-Land Comics and Collectibles show, and it was really cool because it was very small. I got to meet Luke for the first time in person, which was very cool. We went out to lunch, and it was like we've known each other forever. And it was the same thing with Roland Mann and Matt Knowles and and a few other people, where we have that connection because we've been watching each other's shows, we've been on each other's shows, and then all of a sudden meet in person. That was like so cool. Let me see here. We've got something from Pops here. How will you promote your crowdfund from your table if your books are not in hand yet? Well, I don't think you go, Pops.
I did years ago, though. I didn't have a second issue, or I had like a preview copy. And what the funny thing was is people signed up for the newsletter, and people signed up to get like the previews, and people pop down a couple bucks, like just to see like an ash can and stuff like that. So you can do it, but it doesn't make sense to do it if you don't have the product. I mean, it just
you gotta have something. You gotta have something when you're there.
Yeah,
people don't come to those for nothing.
I was gonna say, at least have your first issue crowdfunded and done, and then you can promote your current crowdfund. Have some merch, have some prints, have some stuff to show. Same as you would for your campaign itself. You want to have stuff to show on the campaign. We'll have that in hand, but probably at least have like one successful campaign under your belt first.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for Juliana, actually, because you come from the corporate world. How is marketing online in the comic book sphere? So let me give some context to the question real quick. What I've noticed, because I do a lot of corporate work in web design and things like that, and email marketing and all this other stuff, and I find that the artists have now become either consciously or unconsciously aware of like the sales funnel, and how you actually develop the sales funnel, and to talk in the corporate speak is kind of funny because we're artists and creative people, but they're doing it. They're doing exactly what the motivational speaker does, or what the health coach does, or all these things, and it's like creating the sales funnel down to so are you bringing that kind of mentality to what you guys are doing too?
Well, I think first and foremost we are creative. So while we were in advertising, basically what we did was create and write and do art for TV commercials, radio, print ads, billboards, etc. And but what we picked up along the way, right, is all these marketing insights as well as techniques with both communications and marketing. So that serves us very well in this journey as we continue the creative journey. So we're not the suits per se. So we're not the the people in the shirt and ties going, hey, but it has served us well.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, we're creative. So for difficult like online marketing, I think, right, one thing I learned in ad land, if you go down the commercial route, right, you're gonna have to have a budget. So if you want effective marketing, you need to just throw copious amounts of cash at it, and it will work. So you need like an engine behind you. It's kind of like the Korean wave. It seems very cool and all, but there's a massive engine behind it, both government support and business support. So from that angle, right, then you're gonna need cash. I think from an indie angle, which is what we're doing now, right, I think it's a lot harder, and it's about constantly just not being shy, right, and just getting yourself out there, regardless, until you make it.
And what I'm going to do now is we've got one more campaign that I want to bring up on the screen, and that is hybrids. Mug, were you raising your hand to say? So, oh, okay.
No, I just wanted to say I totally agree with Juliana. What she said is absolutely right. Good job.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, being an independent creator is not easy, and a lot of people are very uncomfortable getting in front of the camera or promoting themselves. A lot of people, they just want to put their head down and create, and they're like, what do you mean I got to socialize? What do you mean I got to do this social media thing? What do you mean I got to get on these damn podcasts? It's like, I just want to write, or I just want to draw. And it's so much more, because you could have the best product out there, but if nobody knows who you are, where to find you, you're not going to sell a book.
Well, it's funny. I remember, like I said, I did an image book before, and it was about 10 years ago. And I thought to myself, after years of self-promotion and getting like reviews and getting interviews and marketing and taking ads, I was like, oh, finally, I'm at a company and they can do it for me, and I don't have to worry about this stuff. And the first thing Jim Valentino emailed me was like, what are you doing to get on reviews and interviews, and what are you doing about marketing? And he did a good job of getting me a couple of interviews myself, but for the most part, it was, no, you're always you're always your best promoter. Like it never ends. Doesn't matter if you're with like you could be with Marvel, and it doesn't matter. They're not going to promote you the way you think they're going to. It always falls on you.
Mm-hmm. And Michael James here says, I would love to meet the people we see online, but cons would be changed for us. Marvel and DC do not check on me. But the indies do, because we love our audience and we care, and we're like, come back. Trish here says, I want to meet all of you and have some drinks, but for a disabled person, cons stink. Online, no lines, no waiting, and I get your attention without having to wait. Exactly. Mel says, an ash can that serves as a prequel to your campaign, I think would be a good way to promote from your table. That's interesting. Let's see. Pop says, some people have paid for tables. They have no control of when it will actually open up. Some of these dates will not work with your crowdfunding schedule. Be prepared to have a promotion ready if you have nothing in hand and table you already paid for. Print some ash cans, print something, you never know. That's a good point. And for people who might be doing a campaign who want to jump on an opportunity, I mean, have some postcards, have some business cards, have something that has a link back to your campaign, so that if you can make it to a physical convention, at least you can pass around something that points to that, funnel them somehow to get to your crowdfunder or whatever the case might be, whether it's your website or something. Luke, I've got Hybrids, The Killing Field, Part 1 here. Holy cow, you are at, what is this?
You need to refresh that.
93%?
You need to refresh that, actually.
Do I now?
Yeah.
Really? Did you make it? Look
Boom,
at that.
Baby. Look at
Oh my
that.
god, you did it! Yay!
Did it.
Oh,
We did it.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Yes, and so what that means is, so right now we're offering anyone who backs in the first 24 hours gets a special print that's added in at no extra cost. It was worth $5, but because we hit funding within the first 24 hours, we're going to make that a holofoil print, and so that will then make that like a $10 value that you get in your package there. So thank you so much for everybody that jumped on in the first day. We've got about 75 copies of the black cover left. I know a lot of people have been showing interest in that. We got about 75 copies of that. Once we've hit 100 copies, I'm shutting off every tier that has that in there because we can't offer anymore. We won't be able to offer anymore.
Wow, so it's really exclusive.
It is
You
really
can't
exclusive.
see it, but I'm dancing.
Yeah, that image that you just saw of chlorine, that's the print, the first day bonus that everybody gets. So anyone who backs today by midnight Eastern is going to be able to get that, and a holofoil print too. So I'm going to find a real nice cover paper that really makes that pop. And so yeah, we're really excited about it. I mean, I can't contain my joy. Can you tell?
And we're kind of going through the different covers and things like that. Some of the merch that we see on the side here.
Yeah.
You want to talk us through some of the? I mean, this black cover is
absolutely. So
ridiculous. Oh, it's gorgeous.
We've got 3 covers. We've got the standard cover, then we've got a cover by Nitho Diaz, who is an artist for IDW and has done the G.I. Joe series.
Mm-hmm.
He's currently working on some other stuff, and hopefully he'll be going back to G.I. Joe because he makes it look really good. But he did that cover B, and then cover C it's an all black cover on matte paper, and then the art is printed in gloss, like a what they call a clear coat toner, and so it like is real glossy, and so it has that nice contrast to it. We're really excited about that. This has got a 2-page backup story by Raj Mann and Jim O'Reilly, 2 very extremely talented people. Those are some sample pages of the art on the inside that you'll be getting. You kind of get to see my style a little bit. I'm the writer and the artist. Piper is the editor. So I write the words and draw the words, and she makes it readable, basically, is what she does. She makes it to where people can palette my work. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so we're offering a lot of cool things. Like we've got that chibi sticker. You can get, earlier someone said about, getting people up to speed on things. And so we are offering the trade with the new issue at a discount. You can still get the trade on the other campaign. It's still in demand, but we're doing that. So we've got hats, backpacks, coffee mugs, and stuff like that. If you like swag, then we've got it for you. But something I'm really the most kind of excited about, and no one has taken me up on this offer yet. It is this one thing that you're showing right here, and so that is we're getting ready to do some backup stories. So in the Hybrids universe, people are starting to develop these powers out of nowhere, and as soon as they get the powers, people are abducting them, and so we learn in the first arc what they're doing with these newly super powered people. Now we follow one group of people in one team in the main arc, but we're getting ready to address all these other places that this stuff is happening. And so while we're doing that, we want to look at new characters. And one of the things that you can do for $150, you get your choice of cover, you get you get the print and all that other fun, cool stuff in there. But you get to work with me to design yourself as a hybrid character that will be featured in a backup story at the end of part 2 of The Killing Field. So it's really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then, so will you be collaborating with them through like emails and stuff like that? I mean, are they sending you ideas? Are they sending you an image? I mean,
they will be able to sit down with me through the similar means like this, through a StreamYard video chat, and I will have my screen up, and we will just start to develop their character. They'll start to give me some backstory of what they want their character to do, and then we'll kind of look at designing what their character should look like. And yeah, so it'll be a fun process. It'll take a little while for us to get that, but at the end, hopefully we'll have something that is really good, that they're happy with, and that fits into the story that we're telling, and so that we can really just expand this universe. And so pretty excited about that.
Really cool, and congratulations on hitting that goal on the first day. I mean, not even 12 hours, huh? Or is it?
No,
well,
it's a
no,
12 hours.
you know
We
what?
launched at midnight last night. Yes, so we're
That's
getting close.
right,
We're
that's
like
right.
2 hours away. We're at 20 hours right now.
All right, very cool. And what I did was in the private chat, I dropped in all the links. If you're tuning in right now, head over to the YouTube channel or the Facebook channel. We do have the links to all of these, the Indiegogos and the Kickstarter that's up there. Make sure that you head over there. And if you can't support right now, because I know Indiegogo is kind of a pain in the butt where you have to make sure the money's in the bank first, instead of like counting the days and going, oh yeah, okay, I can support that right now. Definitely head over there. If you can't support it right now through funds or whatever, hit the share button. I mean, that is so important because let me tell you something. It is okay to have your friends and family and everything like it and stuff like that. But you want to get to the audience that's just beyond them, and you do that by hitting the like and share for these campaigns, for the independent creators who are really putting their heads down, they're getting to work, and they are creating some amazing stuff. I mean, if you've been watching, we've been putting up their art. I mean, the art is just simply stunning. And the amount of work that they're doing and just kind of getting on the circuit and really just getting the work done. I mean, kudos to all of you for doing that. Let me just scroll back up here. All right, Luke, congratulations on that. And we want to see our AUTOMARTYR and the SIRE Volume 3 get across the finish line too.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
We're so close.
Now, I have one more question here in the queue. Let me see if I can pull that up here. Okay. When putting together your creative team, is it better to work with good friends or strictly hired help? I'm sure there are pros and cons to both.
I think you get the person that's the best for your job. Like it doesn't matter if they're your friend. I've worked with friends and they never do deliver pages. I've worked with other friends and they do. I've worked with professionals who don't deliver pages, and I've worked with them that do. So it's all about getting the best people on the job.
And hopefully they become friends.
Right.
Yep. Sanjay or Juliana, anything about that? I mean, because this is your first project together, yes?
Whatever that gets the work done. So you hire the best person for the job. There's no emotions involved in such things. You have to get it done and get it done right 100%. Yeah, on time, exactly to brief, and in the quality that you need it to be.
Okay. Anybody else on that?
Well, me and my husband, our experience, no friends. It's just much more, it's less of a gamble. Like Michael said, you can come out right, but it's much less of a gamble with a hired help.
It's strange though, because Samjai and I are actually friends for a very, very long time. But it actually started off with a work relationship, and then we jumped in the ring of fire. So we're kind of like, because we work in a very
That's if you develop a friend. Yeah, that's you develop a friendship through the process of your work.
Success, and then we kind of cemented that we had a really good professional relationship, and then it took off from there. So we're very lucky that we have each other. Sometimes it takes a very, very long time to find someone to come on board. And when we do, like we have a team at home here as well, and they are so awesome. We would never ever break up with them. Never.
Yeah, I think I like the idea of kind of keeping it professional in a way, because there are some relationships that you just don't want to mess with, and you don't want a deadline to get in the way. So I think I'm in the same arena with Mog, where it's like it's great to be chummy. To what Mel is saying here, I prefer friends not too chummy, especially if you're working together. But let me see. Well, we are past an hour here. Are you guys okay? We're good so far? All right. I wanted to kind of go around the room again and let people know where they can follow you. And I've got one more question for everybody. Well, I might have more than one question, but go ahead and let them know where to follow you, because a lot of times, I hate to say it, but people at the end of the show, they're like, I don't want to. Yeah, you're done. So, go ahead, Michael. Where can people follow you? And then we have a couple of questions that are popping up here.
At SIRE Studios on Facebook. You can just do a search for Michael Dolce too on Facebook. I'm sure I will probably friend you because that's all I use my social media for. And it's at SIRE Studios on Instagram, at SIRE_Studios on Twitter, and YouTube SIRE Studios.
Mm-hmm. Mog, how about you?
Okay, so it's very simple. Mog Park, Facebook, also Instagram and ArtStation. And you can always find me once a week on AASN. California, 6 p.m. time. I have a live show for 2 hours. Come in, just say hi, and watch me draw or something. And then every end of the month, I actually want to help community like other artists. So what I do is I do a draw and bid. So any of you guys also, it's open to the public. You guys can just submit a sketch, and then we auction it off. Mm-hmm. And then we do every month a different theme. So for the next month, we just ended this month. It's going to be Mortal Kombat.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I know, Mortal Kombat. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. And yeah, that's about it. Also, I'm recently selling my husband's private reserves. He used to be in a retail business, so he has a lot of toys and comics. And we're starting to slowly open that up, so I can get rid of some clutter.
How does he feel about that?
I think it's okay. I mean, it took 20 years to convince.
That's so funny.
Over 20 years, like, dude. But we're not gonna sell everything, like he just said to me. He doesn't want to sell everything, but a lot will be sold. So,
Samjai, where can people find you?
Very easy. Just go to our website, pulpstarcomics.com. Mm-hmm. Anyone can connect with us from there. And we are also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Mm-hmm. And Juliana, I think your mic was going a little loopy. If you want to hit the refresh, I'll bring you back into the room. And Luke, we'll skip over to you so that you can tell people where to follow you.
Sure. You can find me on all of the major platforms at Luke Stone Studios. Just type in Luke Stone Studios. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Minds, and all those other things that people are on. So, yeah, you can find me there. You can also go to lukestonestudios.com and you can follow that link to go directly to the Indiegogo. Both Indiegogos are up there. You can get our old floppies that we have, the floppies from the first arc, and you can get some of the special covers and some of the other items that we aren't offering on this particular Indiegogo. And you can also go to this one that's live right now that is funded. Yes. So, yeah, pretty excited. So that's where you can find me.
Piper, how about you? Where can people find you?
Pretty easy. If I have an account, it's probably at FizzGiggity. I'm mostly active on Twitter right now. I'm kind of trying out Minds and been talked into making a new Facebook, but I'm slowly spreading out because, man, having so many accounts to me is, I lose them. I forget about them and they start collecting dust. Also, Adventures of Piper on YouTube. I'm starting to make some content there to get in people's, in front of people's faces with my camera on.
Very cool. Juliana, where can people find you?
Oh, okay.
You're both on mute.
Juliana, you're on mute.
Let me do that again. All right.
We were both on mute, so we're like, it was mine. So it was
I saw you trying to tell her, and I was like, wait a minute.
I thought it was me for a second. I was like, that's me.
Okay, let me do that again. Yeah. So we come as a team. So you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube under Pulpstar Comics. So that's PULPSTAR. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so here's one more question for everybody here. Is comic book something that you've always wanted to do?
Cool. Me? Always. I can't believe
Sixth grade, yeah.
I was stuck in advertising for 19 years before I do this. It's, yeah, always wanted to do this.
Yeah. So it's really cool to actually get on a project and have like full creative control without like clients saying, we want your logo bigger, we have to put this thing in, you know, we need a product in there. So right now it's actually like 100% full creative control, and we're going, yes, thank you.
Mhm.
So it's really fun for us.
Michael, how about you? Was comic books always something that you wanted to do?
Since sixth grade. Actually, probably even fifth grade. Yeah, no, I'll tell you right now, it's actually having that clarity of what you want to do is a blessing. A curse. It's a curse because it's life or death if you don't get to do it. But when you do get to do it, and you do get to do it successfully, like I've been able to do the last 15 years, it's a blessing, because I know a lot of people, I mean, even dating back to like college, we're always like, well, I'm going to college, but I don't really know what I want to do. And I'm like, no, I'm taking creative writing classes. I'm taking visual art classes. I'm taking, some business classes, figure this out, and I'm going to do this. And it just, the level of just having that goalpost to be reaching for helped tremendously.
Mug, you're an artist. Did you ever think comic books?
Actually, I started art just because I wanted to do comics. I'm just like someday, you're the man. Yeah. I know how you feel. but what happens is through life, to make a living as an artist, I realized you can't be so dogmatic in your vision. You have to be flexible. So I learned to do different kinds of things like cover arts, illustrations, working for sometimes the film industry, like game design, stuff like that. And I always try to have fun. But of course, like secret heart of hearts, it's comics. You know what I mean? Someday, Yeah. So recently this year, it's a secret project. I can't talk about it, but yeah, I feel like something might become actualized. But yes, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Piper, you're. What about you? Has comic books always been on your radar?
Yeah, actually, since before I could read or draw, I had decided I was going to do cartoons. And then I discovered comics, and comics is something I can better achieve myself, I think, than cartoons. I want to do both. But yeah, comics. And I thought I wasn't going to be able to, getting older and learning about like the industry and stuff like that. And it really seemed like something I wasn't going to be able to break into by myself. But thanks to, discovering thanks to crowdfunding and discovering the indie scene, I'm so excited to be here helping others with their dreams. And I've got a comic under my belt too, but I won't. So yeah, no, it's exciting. I'm so happy to be here.
Wow. It's kind of funny because I was yelled at the other day because my kind of pitch for myself is that I've kind of tripped into comic books, but that's not really true. It's kind of funny. My friends and I, when I was in junior high, we got together, we made a script, we did the art and everything, and we sent it off because we loved Star Wars and Indiana Jones. So we sent that off to George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, and immediately got a cease and desist. And we're like, we're only 11, so that was kind of scary. So I was told, don't say that I tripped into comic books because it's always kind of been there, but maybe, I'm considering it more of a reawakening now, because now that I've been kind of immersed as an adult into the comic book industry and learning so much. I mean, I'm trying to learn from the ground floor up and getting my hands in everything, that it's really what I want to focus on, and I'm almost 50, you guys. I'm doing my first, I've got my first comic book credit thanks to Luke Stone. I've got 2 pages in his trade paperback, and and I've got 8 pages already of a comic book that's coming out. So I'm so excited, and I love this field. I really do. Luke, was comic books always in your life? Is this something that you've always wanted to do?
Yeah, I got my first comic book when I was about 5 years old. My dad brought home some comic books from a friend at work, and it was just fell in love with them right away. Yeah.
All right, and you guys, we're getting near to the end of our 90 minutes, and I want to thank every single one of you for being here. The Geek Speak, normally we ask one final question, and I'm going to go around the room. If you could go back in time and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
I'll go first. Don't mess around with that music stuff. Stick to comics. Keep going.
Well, Luke, I mean, you do music as well as you're a pastor as well.
I am. Yep. Mm-hmm.
This is what I
guess maybe I should keep it up because music got me there. So.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Years ago, I would agreed with you because I did like the band thing for a while in my 20s and stuff like that. But not only was it an amazing experience, but it actually helped me in terms of being comfortable in front of a microphone to do a podcast, which I didn't. There were no podcasts when there wasn't such thing as a podcast when I was doing band things. So every experience kind of helps you. What I would sit there and tell you is don't put all your eggs into the first issue. To do it all over again, I would have done 3 issues and had them in the can, because all the energy and the effort to either get your pitch accepted, your book accepted, your book distributed, whatever the case is, that is as much work as that is. The real work starts when the book actually has to come out. And that's where the work, like actually having to draw 22 pages or have an artist do 22 pages, write a script to do, like that takes time and effort. And it's just as much, if not more work to do it consistently and well, so that you build up the fan base. That was my biggest thing. It took me so much time. It took me like 2 years to get that first issue to a point where I was so happy with it that once it got in, I was like, oh crap, I got to do this. I got to do the exact same thing,
do it again,
6 more times now. And that was a shock to the system.
Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure if you answered though. If you could go back in time and give your younger self one piece of advice.
Well, that's what I tell them. I tell them, don't put it all. Don't concentrate just on that. Like the one goal. I was always like, I need to get distribution and get in Diamond. I need to, or I need to get an image book, or I need to get a book that's accepted by a publisher, and I did that. But then once you actually get it accepted, like all the work you put into it is nothing compared to the work you actually have to do afterwards. So I would have told them, be prepared, be prepared.
Mog, how about you? If you could go back in time.
Well, I'm kind of a little bit different from Michael's advice. I have a problem with over preparing because I feel like I'm never good enough. So if I go back in time, I would say, hey, draw more. And 2, do social media. Freaking promote yourself. Don't think that you're going to only, when you become really good, that's when you put your art up. Don't do stupid stuff like that. Start posting your art as soon as possible, whether it's good or bad. So.
Juliana, how about you?
I think one piece of advice I would give myself is that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So, I think the right people and the right team is important, and together it's just more amplified. So when I was younger, you take on a lot on your own and you think that only the world revolves around you. So as I grew up, I realized, no, if you actually get the right dynamic, the right team of people, and you put the right group together, the results are magnified like 10, 100-fold. And that's something I learned along the way in life.
Mm-hmm. Piper, you're up.
Mine would be, don't let your family convince you that it's a stupid goal and that you should pursue medical tech.
Ouch.
I'm guessing there's some experience there.
Just a little bit.
It's weird because
that's a very specific
goal. It's weird because my mom's side of the family is very the arts and the creative field. My dad's side of the family is like super geeks. But they are also like super like science. Everybody's in either a science or military field, and so there was all this pressure to, no, don't go make these comics. You need to do this. You need to pursue this if you want money, kind of deal. And I'm broke anyway, so broke with student loan fees. So I mean,
Good point.
yeah.
So, Samjay, how about you? If you could go back in time and give
I
your
would-
younger self one piece of advice.
I would have simply told myself to start work much sooner, like yesterday, not wait till now. I would have started this earlier.
I guess the follow-up question is, if you saw your older self, would you have listened?
Not a chance.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know that I would have. I would have been like, yeah, whatever, get out of here.
It's like I was like, who's that old guy trying to tell me how to do things?
It's like, oh my God, that's what I look like then? Oh no.
It's never too late though. That's I think the other moral of it, right? Like it doesn't matter. What is it? Like you are the best you can possibly be right now.
Mhm.
Right?
Now, I do have one more question. These campaigns, they run anywhere from 15 days, 30 days, 60 days. How are you guys staying healthy and maintaining the energy that you have to stay the course?
Easy. I dropped it from 60 to 28. That's just
2 days, Luke, that doesn't make a big difference, I don't think.
I will never do a
my
30
first
day
one was
Kickstarter
60.
ever.
My first-
60 days
yeah, my
that's
first-
insane, dude. That's insane. I can't. I spend more time like checking my social media and hitting refresh on that Kickstarter page than I do like doing the work right now. So I keep it to 2 weeks. Everything's 2 weeks, and even that to me feels long.
I just finished up a 30-day campaign, and I swore to myself I was not going to spend all day smashing my F5 button. And I was pretty good about it, but I broke out. I'm like, it was like stress showing up on my face and stuff like that. So not easy. Juliana or Sanjay, how are you handling this campaign? Because you've got quite a bit to go. You've got 28 days.
Yes.
What are you doing to kind of stay healthy in like mind and heart and not kill your F5 button or your refresh button?
Well, for me, there's still other issues to go. So I would focus on those bits to instead of being on Indiegogo to see what's the progress. So yeah, it's quite an experience for me.
Mm-hmm. Juliana, what about you?
I think because this is years in the making, so it already have gone a very, very long stretch. So what's another year or two for us? So we've already gone into that mindset, and we were prepared for the long haul when we got into this. So in terms of exhaustion, I don't think it's going to take a lot. Yeah, so we're actually geared up for it.
Mm-hmm. I think it's all about mindset, definitely. Well, and we are at the 90-minute mark. I want to thank everybody who has been here, who tuned in, who's listening right now to the live stream, who is listening on the podcast, on the replay. We're going to go around one more time and let these guys introduce themselves, what project it is that they are working on. The links are in the show notes. Make sure that you head over there, smash that button, and make sure that you share it out with your whole entire network. Michael, let's start with you. Let's get you up on the big screen.
All right. Well, this is Mike Dolce, the creator of the SIRE, superhero forced by his own costume to fight evil. Volume 3 is on Kickstarter right now, and we have great introductory rewards where you can actually get volume 1 and 2 for just $20 digitally, or you can get all 3 volumes for just like, I think it's like $75. Actually, maybe, yeah, $75, which is all welcoming and all discounts. You do not need to know what happened prior to jump into volume 3, but if you do jump in, you can also, like I said, catch up really great. The cover behind me is by Mog Park. And again, Character's been around for 15 years. It'll be the 15-year anniversary of the character, and I am just getting started with all this. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, this is the first project that I'm writing and drawing. So this is a special one for me.
All right. Special kind of crazy, I think, Michael.
So please support my my delusions of grandeur.
And speaking of grand, Mug Park.
Okay, what's up, guys? Super easy again to find me. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Mog Park, okay, right here, Facebook or Artist Alley Shopping Network. I'm not Artist Alley, Instagram. And I have right now 3 Kickstarters going on, okay? One is SIRE, Michael Dolce. Back this guy out, support him, or at least, share his link. It's much better than doing nothing. Please, this guy is so awesome. I love working with him. And then second, Legends of Oz, The Wicked West by Tom Hutchinson, okay? My stuff is there. So please, back this guy. And then the other one, the third one is Mira X Reborn. These guys have been in the industry for a long time, over 20 years. And this is their first time actually publishing through Kickstarter. So let's make their dreams come true. Okay, and I think they just made their 100% campaign. So let's stretch it to their next, stretch goals and stuff like that. And my stuff is there. There's a lot of sketch cards I've done for them as well. So check that out, please. And then every Sunday, once a week, I do Artist Alley Shopping Network. It's a 2-hour show, and you can see my drawing come to life with paintings and stuff. It's really fun. Okay, so please come say hi. Just drop in by, say hi, or you can just chat with me and stuff like that. Okay. And then the last one is Draw and Bid once a month. And for the next theme is Mortal Kombat. So if you attend by Draw and Bid, buy some stuff, it goes for pretty good, a really cheap price. But it's not really about the money. It's really about just supporting artists and then have them do something instead of just wasting away in their room instead of waiting for a con to open, right? So that's what I'm doing. And also I have my husband's Mel's Private Reserve, which is basically his collections or retail stuff that he just kept holding on to over 20 something years. And he's gonna flush it out slowly, but surely. So check out Mel's Private Reserve as well. Thank you so much.
All right, and speaking of the third campaign, Thomas Doherty and Bill Mouse, that is the one where they're doing the Nira X Reborn issue number 2. So that is on Kickstarter, and we're going to be doing a Geek Speak with them on the 22nd. So make sure you guys tune in. Mog, I don't know if you're going to join us for that too. You might. I don't know. Maybe you've got art all over the place.
Sure. Well, good, man.
Piper, go ahead. Tell us where we can find you, your art, and do you commission for your editing skills as well?
Yes, I do. So yeah, I'm here because I'm editor on Luke Stone's Hybrids, Sons of Gods, specifically the Killing Field arc, and hopefully, forever, because I'm having fun. You can find me mostly on Twitter at FizzGiggity. Working on my website, adventuresofpiper.net, where you'll find rates and stuff to commission me either for art, graphic design, or editing. I also edit. I don't just edit comics. Creative writing is my favorite, though, to be editor on for sure. And I'm also co-creator on a different Indiegogo campaign, Peregrine Wings of the Falcon on Indiegogo. So that's where I dip my toe into creating comics, and I'll have news for my solo stuff that I plan. But yeah, also if you want a voice actress, I do that too.
Awesome. I love it. Luke Stone, I don't know if you are you frozen? He looks like
so.
He might.
Can you see me?
I can't see you. You look like you're frozen.
He's very, very constant. He's concentrating very hard.
Oh, but we can hear you. Go ahead and tell us where.
You can hear me good. Okay. Yeah, you can find me at lukestonestudios.com. All of my social media stuff is there. I do commissions if you are looking for an artist or a writer, or mostly art. I do commissions for art mostly. So yeah, that's how you can find me, lukestonestudios.com. And then my social media is also at Luke Stone Studios.
Okay, and Sanjay, let's get you up on the screen here.
Okay, hi again. I'm Somjai, creator and lead artist of the AUTOMARTYR series. You can find me at Pulpstar Comics. So please continue to support us to complete the AUTOMARTYR series at Indiegogo. Thank you.
And Juliana.
Hi, I'm Juliana, writer and co-creator of the AUTOMARTYR series. So we are currently funding on Indiegogo. Book 1 is out there. We are currently at the 74% mark. So we really appreciate if you go online and support our campaign, and that would really help us get the momentum going for all 6 issues for AUTOMARTYR. Yeah, you can find us on Indiegogo, Facebook, Twitter, social media, and at pulpstarcomics.com. Thank you very much for watching and your time.
Thank you, guys. And what I'd try to do, something fun for the screenshot is, as we go, make sure you strike a pose. You ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Thank you for tuning in. And this has been Geek Speak, a Geek Insider production. We're out of here.
At Geek Insider, we foster relationships with those in the geek sphere so we can give our audience this insider view of entertainment, tech, and more.